Well, hello. So today I'm going to review The Eternals. I went to go see it. It's horrid. You should not go see it. And this will be a spoilers because you shouldn't go see it. It will be a waste of your time and waste of your money. Only if they gave me $10,000 would I see this movie again because it felt like torture. So let's start. In this movie, there are four action sequences, I believe. I'm not quite sure because most of it is filled with nonsense. The dialogue, I believe, probably doesn't have more than five syllables. There's not a word that has more than five syllables in this movie. It's just it reminded me of that South Park episode about how the Family Guy episodes are made and how the manatees just find the balls. And then like this word, this word, this word, this word. Haha. It was that bad. It was literally that bad. It was filled mostly with talking and unresolved character. Like, humanity is great and love is awesome, but they didn't really show that. It didn't really resonate that, so there really was no real payoff when the ending. Like, basically, these things are there to destroy the world. You know, they're using the planet as some kind of like egg for another being, and these Eternals have been lied to. So they think they look good guys, but they're not. So the writing was horrid. Poor white people. I felt I went to go see this movie because of diversity. I did. I wanted to elevate the numbers of people of color, of diversity being introduced into the screen. I also went because Chloe Zhao. I haven't seen any of her movies, but female Asian director, yes, of course. I'm going to pay that money up front. And I was extremely disappointed because the bad people were the white people. And it was just, and there was religious white people. It was, for me, it was a clear divisive, like, this is religious white people and this is who they are. And it was just sad. I thought it was racist, actually, against white people, but not just against white people. There was a whole sequence with Angelina Jolie and her love interest, and that really wasn't. I mean, it felt like an executive went in there and be like, nope, we can't have Angelina Jolie be in love with this Asian man. A lot of these scenes need to get cut. And the love really, and that was really a great love element that I think they should have explored rather than the other love element, because the other love element, it was, the Asian like little girl that and the white man and all that stuff, and that was kind of flipped because the Asian woman was the hero, and it was beautiful, but there was like so much wrong. There was so much wrong that just covered all of that up, that I felt. PG-13, there was a child that was like 10 years old in the movie. If you're making a PG-13 movie, don't put a 10-year-old child in there. But on the side note, a lot of parents had brought in their children, literally below the age of 13. And when the sex scene came on, parents were like monkeys. You could totally hear the theater like they did not expect that at all. But come on, it's PG-13 and it's Hollywood. They're going to try to squeeze in that sex to your child at some point. Suicide? Suicide? First of all, that did not make sense. The bad guy decides, be quiet. The bad guy decides, that, oh my gosh, stop. I'm making a video, all right? So the bad guy decides he doesn't want to go on further, and so his love, and he did the wrong thing, so he goes and flies into the sun and commits suicide. PG-13, people. PG-13. And then the ending. So Kit Haring was in this movie, right? Or Harrington? I forget his name. But he was in this movie at the beginning as the boyfriend, and then there was this whole thing about, like, my family has a secret history, and then the movie ends with just his face. They said there was like post-credit, like Fox something. I didn't care. I don't care enough to even look at them on YouTube. I might. But this movie just was so horrid. It felt like a Saturday Night Live. There's a Saturday Night Live skit episode with Rosario Dawson and Fred Armisen and I forget who else, but basically they're doing a skit of Spanish. Kids have fifth graders have written this skit in Spanish and they're performing it. That's how it felt like. That's what it felt like. It felt like and then just the editing was just like, what is going on here? What else did I have a problem with? Angel, oh yeah, the white people. It's just they were either really dark and wanted to control people's minds, or they were crazy, or they were evil, or they were blind in love. There was no redeeming characteristics in the white people, and I think at some point in time, when they make a movie for everyone, in order to include everyone, they really need to take that into consideration, because the world is not just minorities versus white people. It's we are all one. And whether mistakes, yeah, definitely mistakes were made by white people throughout history. Of course, we're not negating that at all. But it's about moving forward. It's about having empathy and understanding that people can change and races can change. And so for me, just putting that stamp of division subliminally and overtly was just, yeah, no bueno. On another side note, if you're going to a movie theater and you pay for that seat number, that's your seat number. Okay? I showed up 15 minutes early and I'm waiting there. And these people were on my seat. And I didn't want to argue it because I'll just take the seat next over. But I knew that people were going to show up and we're going to have to. And I told them, we're going to be playing musical chairs. And we were. And they had to go back where they bought the seat from. So we're in a new world. There is a pandemic. If you bought your seat at that seat, that's your seat. Because people are going to show up at some point. Come on. So I feel sad for Disney. For me, this movie was so bad. It was worse than Catwoman. It was worse than Body of Evidence. It was worse than Showgirls, and I have not seen Showgirls. I was left completely speechless. I was the moment the credits started rolling, I booked it out of there. I wanted to leave halfway through, but I paid for the movie, so I figured, why not? I took myself out on a single date. Bought myself some popcorn, some hot dog, and some soda. And by the way, the prices have gone down. Does it feel like? Because, the thing. So, will I go see a movie? Probably The Matrix. Definitely The Matrix. But anything else? No. No. This movie has kind of scared me from going to the movie theaters in general. Not even because of the pandemic, but because just I don't want to waste money and time, even if it's free. I walked out of free movies. I get a reasonable amount of free movies, and I'm like, nope, we're not doing this at all. Not at the Roxbury. Anywho, I want to wish you a wonderful eternity. I hope that you never get to see the Eternals. I feel sad for Chloe Zhao, but that's just the way it is. I'm sorry. You should be I'm thinking to myself, she's minority, cut her some slack. No. We need art. We need work. We need jobs. We can't have this bullshit being thrown up on the screen like it's